those are the three I've had. One tangentially related that gets a lot of attention these days because it's used as like a beauty standard is what are called toothpick legs with women. So it's women who have straight legs like this. The social name for them is toothpick legs. The standard of beauty that these type of women who've had the procedure done, I'm getting to, I know 4 people who've had this, so there's a point in all this. So they have it done. They've introduced a beauty standard called the thigh gap, because what the toothpick legs have done is they have really straight legs and looks almost unnatural, because it is. They have their inner thigh fat and sometimes muscle removed. The person most well known as of recent socially and in my life was someone who I used to be a biographer for and I dropped, was Emma McKeon. So she had that done to her legs. So there's like an abnormally large thigh gap because she had plastic surgery, liposuction, to remove the fat and some of the muscle on the inside of her legs. And then she had liposuction over the rest of her body. Another person, and she had that done twice. So once when she was like 12 or 13 and then once later on. The stuff I learned when writing a biography and then dropped the biographer. And then she was kind of thin, but not too thin. The only real skinny swimmer in my lifetime that I've seen is Sarah, spelled without an H, Curtis of Italy. She's a junior swimmer as of current. She's skinny and she's natural. Emma McKeon is not. When she gains weight, she does gain fat. An example of someone who has had the same inner thigh removed and then liposuction over the full body is Cameron Diaz. That one's pretty well known too. But when she gains weight, she stays muscular, whereas Emma McKeon kind of puts on more fat. Cameron Diaz has a different, kind of a stricter regimen for her body though. So yeah. So there's those two. One in my lifetime that had social ramifications, and there might be stuff like that for Emma McKeon way down the road. So for entertainment value, maybe stay tuned into that, is when I was in a sorority, one of the girls, Sky, had this procedure done to her legs. She had the toothpick legs. And the first 2 weeks we were in the sorority together. We were not allowed to, there was 2 weeks of no boys, no booze. And she was the kind of girl that really needed to talk about boys, or she really needed to interact with boys. So if she wasn't interacting with boys, she was talking about boys, which I had been on a swim team with like over 50 girls. And then I was living in a house with 100 girls, that kind of thing, or in a sorority with 100 girls. And so out of the two, I would say sorority girls are far less superficial and far less mean than swimmers, female swimmer, like the women on a female swim team, in my life experience. So she was a good person. She just liked to talk a lot, and she got into it. We went to a fraternity one night for a social. A social is a social occasion held between a sorority and a fraternity. And so we were having a paint fight, and this woman came in who had had the same toothpick leg procedure. Her name, which I completely forget, but she introduced herself. She was a musician, so this was in the autumn of 2010. She introduced herself by her stage name. Her stage name was Grimes. She's a musical artist, not to be confused with American swimmer Katie Grimes. No, this is Grimes. And then they started, if you've ever seen the toothpick legs get into it, this is why I said stay tuned for Emma McKeon. She's the even more petty type, the swimmer type, and Sky was just the sorority type. Oh my gosh, they got into it so bad at this social at this fraternity. And so Grimes was like, we're all like, okay, this girl's bad news. So I was like, she's in the music industry. She's starting her career. Can we direct her? But they were both similar. They both had this leg done, toothpick leg procedure done, and both were fixating on guys. And I was like, I'm in aeronautical and astronautical engineering, and we live in a city that had the first either electric or hybrid electric bus system public bus system in the country, or Seattle. I was at the University of Washington, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go over there and distract her. And so I talked about what I was doing, and she was like, what the hell is that? And I was like, it was like aeronautical and astronautical engineering. So I was talking to Grimes, and I was like, it's like aerospace. So it's kind of, think of it, it's like airplanes and spacecraft, which is what I was doing. And so I was like, if I'm any luck, and then she kind of like gets it, and she walks off, and she leaves Sky alone. That was the goal in this, to get her alone. And my sorority sisters come over, and they're like, we know what you just did. I was like, oh, what did I just do? So Grimes is that kind who will copycat. So she'll try and take something that's mine. So I said aerospace, right? So airplanes, might have mentioned like electric cars. It's just electric buses, specifically in Seattle, something relevant. And the spacecraft thing. And they're like, she's gonna have sex with Elon Musk. I was like, is it really that obvious what I just did? This is autumn of 2010. Place your bets, lady. Is she gonna have sex with Elon Musk? Less than 8 years later, there Grimes is having sex with Elon Musk from that incident at that fraternity, and me talking to her and being like, I can protect this lady and make her take something she thinks is mine that is not actually mine. So that was kind of fun. Sky, no for Sky. I did not attend your University of Washington talent show performance. Yes, this is true. You wanted that closure, so there it is. Why, if you ask me again why I did not, the answer is the same. No comment. Okay, you're a great singer, and we all know you were better than Grimes then, and you still are. Okay, so yeah, so that's my life with plastic surgery. Is I'm happy with the procedures I've had. One saved my life, one saved my teeth, the other was an emergency, and so in that sense saved my back teeth. And I would not have anything else done, just because I have seen what procedures can do to each other, and how when two people, especially women, in the same industry, so Sky and Grimes were both into singing, when two women in the same industry have had the same freaking procedure, they just... So, there we go. Yeah. And if you're like me and you want to take heat away from the other person, just redirect and try to get them to take something that's yours. And Kyle, do you... Okay, I should say, give you a good introduction this time. Kyle, King of the Quokka, do you agree with me posting this video? Mikolo, Mitopo, my mouse man, do you agree with me posting this video? Alright, so that is